Good morning again, people. Welcome back to Rax Global. Just want to say thank you for all the support and appreciation yesterday. But yeah, with no further ado, let's get straight back in. Let's try and have a good day on the charts again. Okay, so we're just continuing on with our normal structure. We start off on our daily chart again, and I think again, just to earmark what we said yesterday, I think you start to realize very quickly that not much changes on the daily chart when you're obviously trading it or you're looking at it from like a longer term structure perspective. But we obviously want to see yesterday that we've pretty much had quite a large doji when we look at it, and then I would say this is like almost a bearish candle, just a bit more than a doji, but you can see we've closed very close to the open on the day, and yeah, pretty much not that much information when you look at it from your kind of longer term perspective, but still, like I say, stuck between this major resistance and the fact that we've been driving up from these kind of lower levels since, left levels of imbalance that have been retested, but ultimately still in the same particular kind of place. So I think a lot of our discussion today will be based on the shorter term time frame. So just going to go on to our 30 minute. And yeah, if we're having a look at this, so we can see particularly yesterday, in line with a lot of the kind of stuff we just spoke about, there's kind of sign from the bullish perspective yesterday. We just kind of go through the day again. So when we opened significantly, reasonably in value off a day where the value area had moved up on the previous day, and we've opened inside the value, which obviously signified some form of kind of market balance between buyers and sellers. So we were looking for an area where the market could potentially be a bit more favorable towards one side, which for us obviously was going to be the buying side because of the way that the market was set up. So we obviously waited for a move for price to come down towards the value area low. And if you can see, we had kind of like two reactions off this level. We had the first kind of interaction where we've gone up immediately. Some people like to call this the kind of like identification, or the moment where you can kind of see for sure that you've identified that one time frame is in control. And then obviously you get the move, price comes back, and we actually do come quite close to the stop, if you can see. So I would never have been holding this position, I think, any further than the lowest point of the London session. So about, if the stop here, as you can see, is 4306, I probably would have maybe gone a little bit lower than that just to maybe stop a raid, but not far enough that I could be adding to the risk kind of quota. So price did actually come a little bit further down, but obviously still those buyers protected that kind of area in their positions, and then we got the kind of giant move upwards, which I think for most people would have been some form of TP to some regard, or whatever kind of plan you're trading. So I think, yeah, this can obviously, if we're looking at like the perspective of obviously yesterday, that's like a roundup of yesterday. If we're coming into today, we want to look at obviously yesterday's session in total. So again, we can see we've got a value area that's overlapping to the high side. So a good sign for buyers, but you always also just want to remember that the overall day did actually end bearish. So what does that actually mean for us today? That means that obviously you can see right now it's 7:42. So I think when the London session does start today, there is a few things we want to obviously take account of. We want to obviously see, the first thing is whether this value area is going to be accepted or rejected. And the only thing we need for that is to see where this market opens. So if in the London session we open exactly where we are right now, that would be basically an acceptance of the value area moving up yesterday. So that could be an indication for us that buyers are still in control of the market and the market's open with reasonable balance. So I probably would be favorable towards the buying side, just to kind of constitute to that kind of the trend that's we've kind of obviously the overarching kind of long term trend. Now, if we manage to open outside of value, so if we open either below or above the value area, then that's when we have a significant difference. Obviously, if we open below, it means that this value area that went up yesterday has been rejected. And we then need to see if sellers can continue that rejection if we open below the value area. So just as an example, if price was to drop down right now and come towards this 4306 level, we would want to see maybe a push back up towards the value area to see really and truly if the value area is going to hold on that day, and whether sellers obviously rejecting this higher move upwards would continue a move down, and vice versa on the upside. So let's say if we continue driving upwards now and we open above the value area, then I would obviously expect the value area boundary to provide some form of support to see if obviously buyers actually do hold that kind of strength about the day. So I think this day, especially because it's a Friday as well, it's set up with a lot of kind of, I would say, potential confusion on the day, but I'm just going to try and keep it quite simple. So again, I will just go looking at this, I will still be remaining on the buying side today from like an overarching bias. But if things do change, I will obviously have to maneuver quite quickly. And the first sign of that change would be if price was to open below the value area. That would mean that this upwards kind of value area push from yesterday has been rejected, and we would then need to see how the day trades with that new information. Um, so yeah, that's, I think it's difficult for me to try and particularly pick which side I'd be on, but I think it's very, very clear that yeah, some days you have to kind of wait for a little bit more information, and this could be one of those days. Like there's a high chance price could do any one of the three things that I've mentioned. So it could open above the value area, open centrally inside the value area, or open below, and each of those give a wildly differing kind of situation. So I don't think you even want to get into a trade a little bit too early today. I think it's just about making sure you're patient, waiting for your opportunity, and taking it with aplomb when it comes. So yeah, I think that's my focus today. I'm going to wait specifically for London Open at 8 o'clock. It's 7:45 now. So roughly by the time you guys are seeing this, hopefully we actually know which situation we're going to be in, and then we can trade the value area boundaries accordingly, or potentially even the range. Because if we open outside the range, that's going to be a strong, strong selling sign. So just about, yeah, I think waiting our specific kind of turn today, and looking for the entry when it comes. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I hope you guys have a fantastic day trading. Obviously, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for all the support again yesterday. And yeah, let's keep pushing. Take care of yourselves.